Hello, and I'd like to welcome you all once again to the old schoolhouse here in the village of Butterstone in Scotland for another one of our wee live concerts. And I think there's reverb on there. For another one of our wee live concerts, and it's. I hope you're all well. It's been beautiful weather here in Butterstone, and absolutely beautiful week. It's been cold at night, but it's absolutely beautiful, and spring's really happening now. The leaves are coming on the trees and the flowers and everything, so it's brilliant. And I'd like to welcome to the stage the amazing Tatty Faces. You know, they've been having a great week themselves. And I thought I would start off with this wee song. I kind of just go randomly through my catalogue of songs. I wrote this song for my sister and I, and we grew up in. My father was the gardener on a big estate, you know, for an earl. He had there was a big house like Downton Abbey, whatever, you know, and you've seen it on TV. And my father was the gardener for 40 years for this big estate. And we grew up there, and it was a brilliant place. But one of the things we all had to do when we were young, and all the men had to do as well, was we had to go out pheasant beating. Of course, the landowners and the earls all kind of invited their friends round and shot pheasants, which they reared on their land. And they got all the men in the area and the boys and that to go out. And what we had to do was we had to walk through the woods and frighten up the pheasants so that they could shoot them. Anyway, it sounds archaic and feudal, but it was. But it was an interesting time, you know. And this song, you know, of course I grew up with all these kind of... I didn't know very many professional people when we were growing up. It was all kind of the old farmers and people that worked in the woods and stuff and that. And I realised that these are the people that make the path, the path that you walk on the rest of your life. They weren't clever people, but they were very wise, you know. And I loved it when I used to go pheasant beating. You know, there was an old guy called Bert McGregor. He was called, and he was kind of he worked on the farm, but he was in charge of the beating. And I was doing beating from when I was about 10, you know, up through to. And one of the things, you know, at 12 o'clock, we would all gather in this old shed. It's still there actually, and to have our dinner. We have our sandwiches and our cup of tea. And one of the things that used to happen was that the laird would give Bert McGregor some beer to give to the men who'd been out walking. We'd been walking miles all morning. But because I was 10, 11, 12 maybe, I never got a beer, you know, and all the men got a beer, and I'd be sitting on the bench with my sandwiches and my cup of tea, and they'd all be getting their beer. But I remember, and I must have been about 14, I think it was, and Bert came back in with the big box of beer, and he started passing out the beer to the men, and he came past me, and he says, "And here's one for you as well." And it was one of the best things that ever happened to me. It was like a rite of passage or something, you know. Suddenly I'd become kind of grown up enough to get a beer at the pheasant beating at my lunch. Anyway, it's these kind of folk that this song's about that my sister and I grew up with. We'll have a wee go at it and see how we get on. I've talked enough already. Much time has gone since we worked out in these open fields with the hopes of generations pooled around us and the strength revealed, and so much has been done since we ran around the snake-old woods, never knowing where our gentle lights would lead us. if indeed they could. Oh, and we do not stand alone. I know we stand with all the others out in the deep unknown. I know we stand upon their stepping stones. And sure and simple souls guarded round us as we worldly grew, with nothing greater than what working days had shown then. They gave us all they knew, and though their dreams were small, oh, their true and rural hearts were strong, and with an honest smile that shines from somewhere distant, they helped us all along. Oh, and we do not stand alone. I know we stand with all the others out in the deep unknown. I know we stand upon their stepping stones. And in these silent hours, when reflection lays our journey down, oh, we think on all departed conversations. It's such an earthly sound. Oh, and we do not stand alone. I know we stand with all the others out in the deep unknown. I know we stand with all the others out in the deep unknown. I know we stand upon their stepping stones. Thank you very much, and that's my wee song. Me and my sister and are growing up in with all these lovely rural folk that I still feel I sort of carry a wee bit of them with me. I've carried them through my whole life, you know, and it's. I can still taste that beer too. You know, that was the best beer I ever had in my life, I think. That 14-year-old beer that Bert McGregor gave me in the pheasant beating shed. Anyway, I'm gonna continue with this wee song, and it seems to me as you go through life, you know, and I know that in the last year things have been pretty hellish for a lot of folk, and pretty there's been a lot of bad stuff going on, and. But the one thing that I realised that, you know, that you're allowed to make mistakes, you know. You're allowed to fall down and make mistakes. And the one thing you mustn't do is kind of lie down and give up and do nothing, you know. Because at least if you're out there making lots of mistakes, it means that you're tackling the whole business of life, regardless of what it is, kind of head on, and you're getting, you know, you've got a hold of it. So I wrote this song. It's called You'll Not Lie Down. And I'm going to do a couple of songs with choruses, so you better be... This song's got a chorus. In fact, it might be one of these sing-along with Dougie MacLean nights tonight, just because of the way the songs worked out. And so the chorus of this is you sing, you can fall, but you must not lie down. You can fall, but you must not lie down. I know you're lost in the deep of the fiddle's sweet sound. I like that line. You'll know you're lost in the deep of the fiddle's sweet sound. You can fall, but you must not lie down. And what's that? Mr. Tatty Face is saying that he's going to play what the fiddle played on the record, and he said he was wondering if you could all sing it with him. And so we'll do that as well. We'll do that. Okay, here we go. So this is the wee fiddle riff which Mr. Tatty Face is going to play. It goes like this. So you can sing this as well. It goes da 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 da. That's what you sing. Da 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 da. Maybe we'll do that again. I might be able to sing it a bit better myself. We're going. Here we go. Da 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 da. I can hear you, it's sounding good. Speak your mind, she said, but there are words best left alone. Try to be kind, she said, for there's no grace in doing wrong. And when you're standing on your highest hill and you shout but no one hears, you can fall, but you must not lie down. You can fall, but you must not lie down. I know you're lost in the deep of the fiddle's sweet sound. Or you can fall, you must not lie down. Right, that's a chorus. You want to try it with me? Go on, together. You can fall, but you must not lie down. You can fall, but you must not lie down. I know you're lost in the deep of the fiddle's sweet sound. Oh, you can fall, but you must not lie down. Pull in your tired wings. Oh, there's no need to know it all. Listen how the silence sings. Now's a time for standing tall. And when you're standing on your highest hill and you shout but no one hears, you go. You can fall, but you must not lie down. You can fall, but you must not lie down. I know you're lost in the deep of the fiddle's sweet sound. can fall, but you must not lie down. You fiddle a bit. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Dream on, little one. There are flowers in your hair. See what the time has done. It's scattered diamonds everywhere. And when you're standing on your highest hill, you shout but no one hears, make a bit of noise. You can fall, but you must not lie down. You can fall, but you must not lie down. I know you're lost in the deep of the fiddle's sweet sound. Oh, you can fall, but you must not lie down. This is where you sing on your own. Is everybody ready? This is a global choir ready. Here we go. You can fall. Beautiful. One more time. You can fall, but you must not lie down. You can fall, but you must not lie down. I know you're lost in the deep of the fiddle's sweet sound. Oh, you can fall, but you must not lie down. Da 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 da. Beautiful, Mr. Typeface. Da 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 da. Well done. I was getting the vibe here in the old schoolhouse here. That was fantastic singing. I'm thinking that's very, very good. And that's my wee song called Not Lie Down. And wasn't Mr. Tattyface's contribution to that just fantastic? Well done, Mr. Tattyface. And so I'm going to do another piece. I'm just going to change guitars here. And this is our 83rd live broadcast from the old schoolhouse here. And I got a wee visit yesterday, well, a couple of nights ago, from my dear friend Nigel, who's been supplying me with the port. And he brought me 6 bottles of vintage port. He's moving house at the moment. And he brought me 6 bottles, and he said, that'll do you to number 100, he said. So I've got enough port to see me through to to number 100. But I can't believe that we're up to number 83, you know, and it's been fantastic, actually, you know. I mean, it's kind of weird because you don't have I'm kind of talking to myself and kind of giggling to myself here and talking to my friends here, but I appreciate you all kind of tuning in and joining in, and thanks so much to the folk that buy tickets for the ticketed one, which is great. So we're going to do this wee song, and it's a traditional song, and it's got a wee line that you repeat in it. You'll get it as we go along, and it's a song I've done for years, and I love this song. It's from the Northeast, and it's not a jilted man song, but it's a man who it's a relationship that's not kind of working, you know, it's not happening. And there's a great line in it, you know, and he says, "I knew her mind was changing by the roving of her eye." And I just think that's a great honest line, that actually. So we'll try it and see how we go on, okay? I went to church on Sunday. I think I'm down one too low. Here we go. Bum, bum. I went to church on Sunday. My love, she passed me by. I knew her mind was changing by the roving of her eye, by the roving of her eye, by the roving of her eye. I knew her mind was changing by the roving of her eye. That's a wee bit that you sing, it kind of repeats it. By the roving of her eye, by the roving of her eye. I knew her mind was changing by the roving of her eye. Now Hannah, she is clever, and her waist is thin and small, and she is so good looking. Oh, and that's the best of all, and that's the best of all, and that's the best of all. And she's so good looking. Oh, and that's the best of all. Oh, Hannah, loving Hannah, come give to me your hand. You said that if you'd marry, that I would be the one, that I would be the one, that I would be the one. You said that if you'd marry, oh, that I would be the one. I'll go down to the river when everyone's asleep. I'll think on loving Hannah, oh, and then sit down and weep, and then sit down and weep, and then sit down and weep. I'll think on I went to church on Sunday. My love, she passed me by. I knew her mind was changing by the roving of her eye. Sing it with me, go on. By the roving of her eye. By the roving of her eye. I knew her mind was changing by the roving of her eye. Thank you very much, and that's that beautiful traditional song, Loving Hannah, which I've sung for years, and I just love it. It's just one of them lovely wee songs, and I think, the art of the songwriter has been able to get something like just simple like that, and nice and repetitive, and it's going to be brilliant. Anyway, we're coming to the end of our half an hour wee Saturday night show. I hope you've enjoyed yourselves. I'm just going to change guitars again here. We'll leave that space, and I haven't done this for a while, so I thought I'd have a wee go at it. And it's a song that I wrote after reading a speech by Chief Seattle, Native American Indian, and he gave a speech in the 1850s or 1860s, I think, to the president and to all the kind of, and it was. And there was a line in it that was something like, I can't remember the exact line, but it was, "You cannot own the land owns you." And I thought that's a brilliant line, brilliant concept. And so I kind of incorporated it into a wee song of mine. And so we'll have a wee go at it now. I don't normally play it on this wee tenor guitar, but I'm going to have a go. I'm going to have a wee mouthful of Nigel's port here. It's in my throat. And this is the part of the show too that I always like to kind of make a wee shout out to all the people who are still out there working at the sharp end of this whole kind of crazy COVID thing that we're doing, that's going on. And I got my got my second jag yesterday, and it was just fascinating to watch all the people working away and moving people in and out and that, and that's been going on for months and months and months, every day, and all the doctors and other people, the medical people that are sort of involved in that, and all the guys that deliver me my parcels that I buy on the internet, and the other teachers now, because all the kids are back at school. So thanks once again for kind of going through it all with that. I know it's difficult now with masks and all the kind of things that you've got to think about. So many more things, and social distancing and everything makes any kind of work a little bit harder, I think. So, but anyway, we're slowly creeping out of it if we're careful. So. We'll do this wee thing, and you can join the chorus. Don't wait for me to tell you to join in with the chorus. If you hear anything that sounds suspiciously like a chorus, just kind of help yourself, And, so we go try. Well, yeah, and I mentioned a couple of places in this song, and maybe for those of you who don't know it, I'm talking about the Buckney Den. It sounds kind of. But the little burn that runs past the school here, it's called the Buckney Burn, and it flows down through this huge kind of little gully. This gully hasn't been created by the wee burn. I was told that it was a glacial runoff when there was a huge glacier here, and the water had kind of been running off the glacier and carved this big kind of trench, and that's the Buckney Den, and it's beautiful, and it's actually quite alpine, and there are some very rare flowers and that growing up there, and only the local people know where they are. But there's one particular one which is, I think it's one of the only places in the UK or something where it actually grows, and it's up in the Buckney Den. And then the Arlick Face, which sounds funny, but that's just the face of a hill just along the road here, and these are places where Because it's an amazing thing to grow up in an area. Like I went to school in this room, and my father went to school in the 30s in this room. You know, I've walked, I've been all over the land around here, and my father, and it's a very strange thing to live and grow, spend your life in a place where you've had two connections sort of with generations of the same bit of land. But it's a great cornerstone for me. It's been a very great thing. Anyway, so we'll try the song. Nice bass, Duncan. Down the Bockney Den, the burn crashes round with the autumn spade. The spreading hazels rustle as they bend and sway, as they laid in wait. My fathers, they have walked this road, now I know. Yes, didn't they know? There is no great and heavy load, now I know. Yes, and didn't they know? Oh, we stand on solid ground, on solid ground, on solid ground. Oh, we stand on solid ground, on solid ground, on solid ground. Across the Arlick face, the amber sun beats down to tint the vivid green. I hear it wild and loud, feel it wild and proud, the way it's always been. My fathers, they have looked this way, and now I know. Yes, and didn't they know? No clever words we have to say, now I know. Yes, didn't they know? Oh, we stand on solid ground, on solid ground, on solid ground. Oh, we stand on solid ground, on solid ground, on solid ground. It's the land, it is our wisdom. It's the land, it shines us through. It's the land, it feeds our children. It's the land, you cannot own the land owns you. It's the land, it is our wisdom. It's the land, it shines us through. It's the land, it feeds our children. It's the land, you cannot own the land owns you. Where is the honest truth? Where is the open soul? Where is the simple smile? A couthy word or two for the passing stranger who may rest a while. My fathers, they have said these things, now I know. Yes, and didn't they know? The joy that shared friendship brings, now I know. Yes, and didn't they know? Oh, we stand on solid ground, on solid ground, on solid ground. Oh, we stand on solid ground, on solid ground, on solid ground. Sing with me. Oh, we stand on solid ground, on solid ground, on solid ground. Oh, we stand on solid ground, on solid ground, on solid ground. It's the land, it is our wisdom. It's the land, it shines us through. It's the land, it feeds our children. It's the land, you cannot own the land owns you. You cannot own the land owns you. You cannot own the land owns you. Thank you very much. Well, that's my wee song, Solid Ground, with some pretty funky bass playing by Duncan here. Good job, Duncan. And anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the wee half hour. It is live, completely live, so if the things go pear-shaped, they go pear-shaped. And it's not edited or anything like that. So when you're hearing it, I'm actually on this wee stage in the old schoolhouse here in Botterstone. And there's just me and Jenny in here tonight, so it's still a pretty kind of stripped down little operation. So thank you very much. Hope you're all... So all I can say now is just I'll see you next week for another one of the wee shows, and hope you can keep looking after each other, be kind to each other, stay cheery, get out there in the sun, and smile like a tatty face. And I'll see you next week. And thanks to Jen and everybody for their help. Ike night, and see you soon.